Welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. Guys, just want to take you into the garden and let you see how things are growing. Here are some tomatoes. I've got my cucumbers in here. I think I'm going to add some marigolds in the front part of the bed. Here are my purple hull peas, not purple hull, field peas. And I have inserted some corn in the empty spaces because when I separated my other corn that I had growing, I had so many left over. And so I know that peas are nitrogen fixers in the garden, and so I added them uh, in the corn in with the peas because the corn love nitrogen. This is my asparagus bed, and it needs a lot of weeding. But as you can see, they have started ferning out and going to seed. Guys, would you look at my green beans? They have really grown since the last time I showed you, and they will be setting fruit pretty soon. And guys, by growing your green beans or your peas very close together, it helps to suppress the weeds. And all of this also will provide a lot of nitrogen to the soil if you were to plant something after it as a succession planting. So once I pull this out or just lay them down, it's a lot of nitrogen that will be in the soil for the next crop that you're growing. In this bed, I have garlic, and some of them are going to seed, cauliflower, and cabbage. And of course, it rained a lot on yesterday, so they are really doing well. This is Ava's bed. She's got tomatoes, she's got peppers, broccoli, kale, not kale, broccoli, Swiss chard, and some collards. She also has cabbage and marigolds. And this is her corn. She wanted some corn, so we had a lot extra. We were able to add some to these two pots here. This is my herb bed, and I have been hacking away at the oregano that had it really just overgrown. So I've planted some more sage and some parsley. There's some cucumber in here, rosemary, and sage. There's some salvia plants that have already flowered. But in this bed, guys, I'm still working on removing the roots of the oregano, and I've got a lot to go. But I have some tomato plants that are left in the greenhouse. Um, well, I've taken them out of the greenhouse now because it's too hot for anything to be in a greenhouse. But I do have some more tomato plants that I want to go on and put in this bed. I was getting ready to pull this rose out of the bed, but then I started seeing some new growth. So I'm just going to cut the dead branches and see how the rose bush will do. And it's a David Austin rose. Over here, guys, I have my sweet potatoes now all planted. And all of these slips, guys, I was able to create from my sweet potatoes. And I did it with the soil method. And as you can see, they are beginning to spread out in this bed. And over here is my corn. And as you guys remember, the last time you saw this corn, it was kind of all clumped together. Well, I took my time to spread them out, and they are coming along beautifully. In this bed here, I have corn, um, squash, and as you can see, it's putting on squash. And also there are some lima beans in here to add nitrogen to the soil to help the corn. And so even the lima beans are coming up. In this bed, I have my okra, and this is a blanket flower, I believe, but the okra is doing really well. Somehow over here in this corner, looks like this one has died. These three here, not doing so well. So I may replace those. This is my onion bed, and I'm seeing an onion starting to go to seed already. I think next year going forward, I'm going to plant this onion much sooner than I did. I think I kind of planted it a little bit too late. In this bed are my lima beans, and I've sown some additional seeds because this side of the bed, it was kind of sparse. But as you can see, I've gone in and added some more, and so you see some of the younger ones. Something is eating the tops off of these, but that's my lima beans. Over here, guys, I've planted some watermelon. In this bed, I have the Jubilee and the Georgia rattlesnake watermelon, and I have one cantaloupe plant in here. Just going to see how it's going to do. Over here, I have spaghetti squash. And as you can see, it's flowering. And I need to spray because I'm starting to see some pests. Now, I don't want to push on this too hard because as you can see, it's starting to tear. The same thing here. And guys, over here, this is my Diva Jones lane. As you can see, I've got a lot of things in tires, but these are all my hot peppers. And this is a volunteer tomato that I'm going to allow to grow right there. I need to get in here and get around to all this grass that's all in between the tires. But nonetheless, the food that I have growing in the tires are doing well. So I'm going to save that work for another day. But the peppers are doing really well. I also have marigolds in here just for a little color. But guys, I notice I do have a banana pepper that can be harvested. I'm going to go on and take it. But this is what the garden is looking like at this time. I'm so happy to get my watermelon and cantaloupe in. I've got a few more watermelon and cantaloupe plants that I'm going to put in another area to see if it'll do well there. If not, I've got some over there. Just to give myself a greater percentage of likelihood for success. Because last year I grew it in the back, and of course the animals came and got it. I had one that was really coming along nicely and was almost ready to be harvested, and then something came and ate it. So I'm going to have some in this fenced area and some in another area in the backyard. But just wanted to come on and share with you how things are looking at this time of the year. Today is May 21st of 2023, and more things have been planted. And of course, we had a lot of rain recently, and with the rain came a lot of growth of weeds and grass. And so I will be very busy within the next several days just going at the grass and the weeds. There's one more thing I want to share with you, and I'll take you to the other garden so that you can see what's going on there. So what I wanted to show you guys is how the flowers are just blooming beautifully in the butterfly garden. And as you can see, the lilies have come into bloom. The daylilies are coming into bloom as well. I love daylilies. I love lilies, period. But flowers are doing really well. The roses bloomed, and then you can see where something has been eating on the leaves. So I have some stuff that I'm going to use, which is the Bayer Systemic 3-in-1 for roses. It feeds, protects, and fertilizes, and all of that. It does three things in one. But as you can see, the daylilies here are also blooming. But what I also want to show you is out here, backyard here, I have planted my cantaloupe and 3 different types of watermelon. So I have the cantaloupe here, and in this container, no, this is the cantaloupe here. As you can see, this is the cantaloupe. And over in this one, this is the Georgia rattlesnake. In this one, I have the sugar baby, and I just sowed the seeds in it. Over here, guys, this is where I have my compost, and as you can see, the weeds have taken over. So before my watermelon and cantaloupe begin to start trailing out of these containers, I am going to use a weed killer and try to kill as much of this off and get my composting bins ready for when the leaves start dropping in the fall. Then I can start another compost pile. But just wanted to share with you another area of my garden, and this is the area where I have laid black plastic just to suppress the weeds, but I'm going to use containers to grow my watermelon and cantaloupe. And I've gone on and I've fertilized with some bone meal and also with an all-purpose fertilizer. I want to make sure that there was enough calcium, because last year when I tried to grow cantaloupe and watermelon, and what I did was I had cut holes in the black plastic and tried to grow the fruit in the ground, and apparently it was deficient in a lot of minerals. So I'm growing them in containers, and I have amended the soil. So I'm hoping for a good success rate, and I need to finish this fencing. I have all the materials. It's just been lack of time to be able to do it, but I'm going to be able to fence it in so that this time, hopefully nothing will be able to get into this area, and hopefully I'll get some watermelon and cantaloupe in 2023. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. If you are new to my channel, I hope that you would consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Don't forget that notification bell, because it will keep you apprised of any time I submit a video or upload a video. And I thank you so much for those of you who continue to support my channel. I pray that God bless all of you. Bye-bye.